my favorite part has been Munich. It's like so modern, and I love the colors in the buildings. And I think that's my favorite part of the trip so far.
On a trip like this, it's so hard to narrow it down. We've done so many things. One of my interests was the Dürer house in Nuremberg, where we stopped on the way to Prague, and because that's related to printing and art. When you're in a house that's 500 or so years old, it's just hard to imagine that you're stepping in the same places the famous artist did. And then we've had so much variety, because today we went to Radio Free Europe / Radio Liberty, and I think we learned a lot about what they do. It's part of the U.S. government that tries to provide accurate news to countries that don't have a free press. And the security we had to go through shows how important that is, and that was pretty educational.
Laura, you are I'm sorry, tell me your major again.
Nursing.
You're a nursing major. So we did papers before we left. Do you think that research made you appreciate it more, or helped you get prepared for the trip?
Well, so far we haven't really done a whole lot we haven't really found out a lot of the information on the topics we have researched, but from what Sandra was telling us, I think like a lot of the information, like I had already found it in my research, but it was like interesting to like see how some of the tweaks, like not all of like the information sounded like exactly to how they're like living and stuff like that, about like as far as entrance goes, and how people prefer to do like more homeopathic instead of going to the hospitals. Like I didn't see that in my research, and I thought that was really interesting.
Okay.
I didn't do a paper.
But you read all of the journalism papers.
I had to read all of the journalism papers, yeah.
Okay, so why did you decide to apply? You went on the trip to China as well. What made you decide to apply for this trip?
I think it's like super interesting just learning about the different cultures. Like you have no idea, like coming from Amarillo, I mean, pretty small town. So it's like amazing, like seeing how like things are so different in different parts of the world, and I just like to experience that. And I really loved going on my trip with the potential scholars, so I think this was another great opportunity to take.
And Mike, why did you decide to apply?
Well, there were 6 mass comm students who forced me to, so they could go. No, really, I've been to Europe before, mostly to England and once to Ireland, and I just know how fun it is and how much you learn. And on a trip like this, it's just fun seeing all of these students, their eyes lighten up when they see the towers in Prague and the things we saw in Munich, and but also we have the scheduled things that we're seeing, and our students are, plus the faculty, are learning so much about those scheduled things, the castles and cathedrals and all those things. But just being in this environment and riding the train, the tram that we got lost on last night, and hearing people as we walk down the sidewalk speaking several different languages, and then also interacting with the other students from New Jersey and New York who are here. I hope nobody collaborated with some of them tonight, but anyway, I really think students learn a lot about the culture of other countries just from being here and hearing an ambulance go by in Prague and stuff like that.
Okay. Anything else you guys want to share, either about the trip or why you think people should apply for the next year's trip?
I mean, I just think it's like a great opportunity, and especially because like if you come by yourself, like you're probably not gonna do as much as the culture stuff that Miss Carter has scheduled for us. So it's like interesting because like it's more organized, and you get to like, I guess, even though like it wasn't necessarily just my research, but listening to everyone else's research like helped me prepare for the trip, and like you kind of know what to expect, and like when we get to see the things that we saw on the slideshows like in real person, it's really cool. And like most likely if you're gonna come by yourself, you're not gonna do like all that research and be like, oh yeah, the velvet thing. and, you know, like you're not gonna do all that research like before you come. You're just gonna come if you even come. So I think it's like a really good opportunity.
I think the
Velvet Revolution.
I think the Velvet Revolution. I think the assignments that the students have really are valuable, and they're going to follow up on those when we get home. I remember when I was a student, right after my freshman year of college at Texas Tech, I did go on a tour of 10 countries in 3 weeks, and we went through them so fast, it made me want to come back. But before I went, I didn't know very much about those countries, and it was not a study tour, so we didn't have to learn anything. And I think it's more valuable, but just more fun too, because you all had to do this study before you came, and so just what Laura said, it's you appreciate it a lot more than probably I did when I went on my first trip.